Live from the Business Radio X studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and I'm excited today to have Kent Davies. Kent is the CEO of Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce in Johns Creek, obviously. Kent, welcome.
Thank you very much, John.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit. We all know about the Johns Creek Chamber, but tell us a little bit about, give us the overview, the elevator pitch for the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce.
If I did the standard 30-second overview that we allow networkers, I'm going to probably go a little bit over. But
well, I won't buzz you, so go right ahead.
That's one of the fun things of chamber networking is they get the buzzer when they get a little too long. But,
that's right.
But hey, that's a good thing because it means you got a lot of people there that are waiting in line to get up there. So
that's exactly right.
So we appreciate that. But yeah, as you said, I'm the CEO, president of Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce. You know, we are, and I'm going to give you an exact quote from several of our members. It's almost like they conspired to say this, but it's like, hey, I love it. It says, you know, the thing I like about the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce is that you're big enough to be strong and effective, but you're small enough to have a heart and care still. And, you know, they love the bigger chambers, and hey, we're members of all the other chambers around also. But, you know, sometimes you get lost in the numbers.
Sure.
And, here we have a lot of fun. We get personally involved with everyone and we have over 150 events each year to help them have a chance to get to know each other and to connect. And one of our uniquenesses in the Johns Creek Chamber that we try to do too is it's important to us that we don't just connect businesses to businesses. We connect, you know, the 85,000 Johns Creek residents, the extra 100,000 greater Johns Creek residents, that we connect the businesses with them too.
Sure.
And that we connect all the organizations and the charities and the schools and the city council, city offices, the mayor, all the different faiths in Johns Creek, to connect all them together. The idea is to bring the whole greater Johns Creek area together and, you know, let us get to know each other, let us feel comfortable and ultimately help the businesses have success, especially in this world. You know, the small businesses, the bigger businesses seem to be doing quite well in today's economy, but you've got that entrepreneurial spirit that exists everywhere, and people, you know, are looking forward to one day firing the boss and being their own boss and running their own store, their own business, whether it's a brick and mortar or a home-based business, and have that opportunity themselves to work for themselves and see what they can do. So we provide all that and we connect all them. And like I said, you know, I couldn't believe it when, I've been the present CEO I've been on the board for over 8 years, but you know, when they asked me to be chamber president, I had no idea going into the office there how much you do, how much there is. I'm telling Robin over there in her office, like, holy mackerel, do you realize you did over 150 events last year? And we're doing that many this year too. I said, every day there's something. Every day there's 2 or 3 things. It's like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. But it keeps you incredibly busy, you know, doing this connecting and doing things and all the stuff there is. And John, you know, I gotta say, we got a great board of directors. That helps a lot. We've got 28 community leaders, opinion leaders in the community, starting with our chairman of the board is Marilyn Margolis, who is the CEO president of the Jewel of Johns Creek, which is Emory Johns Creek Hospital.
Sure.
And then we've got, you know, our chair-elect, Renda Freeman, who, of course, is an attorney with Anderson, Tate & Carr, one of the great and big, you know, firms in Atlanta.
Sure.
And then, of course, we got 28 total board, you know, including the state of Georgia treasurer, Lynn Riley. She's a Johns Creek resident. The Fulton County School Board VP, Linda McCain, who's a Johns Creek resident. And then, of course, Johns Creek City Manager Warren Hutchmacher. And, you know, various other business owners and leaders and vice presidents and doctors. Who have their own clinics and successful practices. So, plus, you know, a lot of volunteers. We got a lot of volunteers. The whole city of Johns Creek is an amazing place because there are literally thousands of people who volunteer in the community, which I think is one of the reasons why it makes Johns Creek such an awesome place to work, live, and play. And, you know, of course, you know, and then of course our regular chamber members who our bread and butter. They're our family. They're our base.
Yeah, of course. Now it's interesting you talk about your effort as a business association, because that's the way people think about chambers in general, is it's an association for businesses. But you talk about how you seek to tie the whole community together across education, government, civic organizations, etc. It strikes me that helps make the chamber more relevant, right? I mean, and that's what you're always looking as an association that's people come and go all the time. You're always looking to increase your relevance. And that's a great way to increase your relevance, is to tie the whole community together.
It is. And people love that. And, a lot of that has to do with, as a result of that, I started with the chamber, but I've got so many other things I do now, and it all fits perfectly, and it all helps each organization. One of the things I do is I'm the director of public affairs for 60 congregations of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is Johns Creek included and all of that. And I'm a Gwinnett Technical College chairman of the board for the trustees, the board of trustees, which you got one right down the road here in Avalon.
That's right.
One over in Lawrenceville, and everywhere in between, Johns Creek. Serves all our students there, and they do some wonderful things. I could spend a whole show just talking about the great things that Gwinnett Tech does. But Johns Creek Cultural Arts Board, Johns Creek Advantage Economic Development Board, Johns Creek Arts Board. So you can see they all intertwine, and we just those of us that are volunteers and work in this, we love Johns Creek and we love the area. It's a great city. It's like. As you may already know, it is considered the most diverse city in the U.S. And it really is. The numbers have changed over the last 12, 13 years since we became a city. And we're one of the newest cities, and we still have that new city enthusiasm and energy. So
now let's dive into that, because we were talking about that before we came on, about the growing diversity of Johns Creek. Tell us more about that.
Well, it's like when we started Johns Creek, and I can't remember exactly if it was 12 or 13 years ago. It's gone so fast. It seems like it was yesterday. But, we had like 2% of our population was minority or was Asian in particular. And now the Asian population is approaching 30%.
And that's just in 11 years.
That's just there.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
As part of the chamber, we get the honor of going into one of the schools in Johns Creek or North Fulton and be the principal of the day each year. And as I said to you, I've been in Northview High School and I've been in Chattahoochee. My kids all went to Chattahoochee and Taylor Road, where your wife works. Mm-hmm. And you're just amazed, because when my kids went to high school at Chattahoochee, it was almost entirely Caucasian and maybe 2%, Hispanic and black. And now you go in Johns Creek, and it's like, it looks like it appears right off the top of your head to be like 90% Indian and Asian. Of course, Indian is considered Asian in the demographics, but it is just amazing. And the same thing at Northview High School. There's a heavy population of Indian students and Asian students, and they are good students, and they're involved in the community, and they ask to be involved in the community. They're always seeking internships. They're always seeking help from outside, and they line up in droves to want to be members of Leadership Johns Creek and Student Leadership Johns Creek. When I went to school, 4.0 is the highest you can get. And I felt lucky when occasionally, in a quarter I would hit that. But nowadays it's imperative. These students that's why North Fulton schools are so good is because of the diversity in them. It's imperative to them to hit that 4.5.
Right. For sure.
And they are. As a result of that, they're involved in the community, and they ask to be, and they want to be involved in the community. It's just part of their culture. It's part of who they are, and it just makes Johns Creek even that much better.
And this demographic, these population groups, Indians, a lot of the Asian population, there's a heavy entrepreneurial bent.
Oh, yes.
From these groups, right?
They're heavily entrepreneurial, and because a lot of them are first generation U.S. and of course they're having their children here, and a lot of their children were first gen. They came over with them from Southeast Asia and India and stuff. And if you have ever traveled over, for any of you that have traveled over in India and Asia, everybody has a business. Every single house, every single home, every single person has a business in it. It's just common. The bottom front floor is a business. Then they live upstairs. Everybody has it. And, so of course when they come here, they keep that entrepreneurial spirit, which I love because, you've got the Amazons of the world that are taking a lot of the business away, the brick and mortar, but you still can't take away the entrepreneurial spirit. And it doesn't matter what your race or background is. Everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit and would love to fire the boss one day and love to have their own thing. But these folks seem to always want to do that too. So, and we have intentionally, and they know this right up front, we've just brought Dr. Sharon Seek on board with our board of directors, and our specific request to him is help us get more into the Indian community because they're so prominent in the greater Johns Creek area. And
Dr. Seek is with, tell us about him briefly.
Yeah,
so
Dr.
people know who
Seek is
he
very interesting because he's the president of the Georgia Indian Doctors Association.
Oh, wow.
He's also the liaison between the Indian film industry and Georgia, because, Georgia's big in the film industry. India makes more films than we do.
Yes.
And, of course, they've got,
Bollywood.
They've got
right?
far more people than we do, 10 times the people.
Of course.
So it makes sense. But so he's the liaison between that, and he's also a doctor who owns his own clinic and has been in practice for many years, internal medicine and stuff. So, and he's very social. That's why I asked him to be on the board. It doesn't matter where I go in the state of Georgia, he's there.
Wow.
So I said, Sharon, can you help us in Johns Creek to get into the Indian community? He says, I'd love to try. So he's on the board. And, Ting Chu she's a lady she's Chinese or Taiwanese more correctly.
Okay.
And we asked her to be on the board for the specific reason of helping us to get more into the Southeast Asian community and the Chinese community here in Johns Creek, which is huge also. And they're also very entrepreneurial. And she has promised to do that, and she's a resident. She lives in Johns Creek and she has an office in Johns Creek. She's also got an office in 15 states, a lot of offices. Interesting. Her husband's a CDC doctor who travels abroad all the time, in Africa and seems to spend more time in Africa and the stands, Uzbekistan, whatever, although I can't even pronounce that.
Sure. Yeah.
But, and he's also a concert violinist. So, we asked Ting to be on the Johns Creek Symphony Board, and she holds the record for getting the most people to one of the symphony events. So
wow.
It's we need to get her on the chamber board also. And, I've been a friend of hers for 20 years, and so I know her well. She's a very driven, outgoing woman, and so she'll be a great addition to help us there. So with Johns Creek being so diverse, we need to get into that diversity, in our chamber also. And once again, connect the whole community. It doesn't matter race, religion, background, what country you're from. We all love and appreciate and help each other, and we need to bring more of that into the community, help make the community even better than it is already.
Yeah, for sure. We're speaking with Kent Davies, and Kent is the CEO, president of the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce. Now, Kent, I want to talk a little bit about you briefly. You know of what you speak when you talk about what's going on in Asia and India, because you traveled there a lot in your previous career. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, I was fortunate to travel all over the world with my previous career. I was the vice president of sales and marketing, the vice president of field relations, the president of all the charitable foundations in World Financial Group and Transamerica. And we have World Financial Group has over 750 offices across the U.S. and Canada. And I work specifically with the Asian division. And of course, they like to do a lot of meetings and events over in Asia.
Sure.
And so got to travel Asia many times, and they also like side trips to Europe. And so we've been literally all over the planet. I could give you a whole show just on the adventure of going to Egypt.
That sounds interesting.
Oh, we went to Egypt a year and a half ago, and I could, oh wow. You talk about an adrenaline rush. Mm-hmm. With armed guards and tanks and machine guns pointed at your face everywhere you go. That's a whole nother subject for another day. But yeah, traveling the world is awesome, and getting to see that, and getting to develop the public relations with these countries, and because we met with a lot of leaders from these countries when we were there too. They would give us awards because they've never had that many people come over. We've got 4,000 people going to Israel in a couple months, and we already know that we're going to be the biggest group ever that's been there at one time.
Wow. So now this is from the chamber, you mean?
This is
Chamber
from World
membership?
Financial Group.
Oh, from World Financial. I'm sorry.
Which is what I retired from, which is one of our chairman level members.
Gotcha.
So we've got a lot of big businesses in Johns Creek, Alcon, Emory. We've got Northside Hospital, Gwinnett Hospital. They're outside the border of the city, but we consider them the greater Johns Creek area. But yeah, I've had the opportunity to travel a lot because of, 20 years of World Financial Group and then retiring and then coming into the chamber. But even as World Financial Group as the VP of Field Relations and Public Relations, that's how I got involved in the chamber, for eight years ago. So it's, and I'm a mountain boy. I grew up on a farm in Utah. And for somebody like me to have the experiences I've had and the opportunities, it's just amazing to me. All my 8 kids in our family, and of course our parents, and grew up in a little farming community of 400.
Wow.
Where, everybody. Everybody knows too much about everybody. And, on a farm, you learn to work. There's no days off on a farm. There's no getting sick on a farm. Those animals have to be taken care of, morning, noon, and night, 24/7. So you learn to work. You've got no option. And, my parents were awesome. They were the example to me of service. They were heavily involved in service in their community and in their greater community too, and it's funny. They used to sing songs to us to teach us stuff. And it was, my father died in 2006, but when we went to the funeral, there's 8 of us, brothers and sisters and my mom, we're all like, well, let's sing Dad's favorite song. And I said, okay, that's great. It's Have I Done Any Good in the World Today? And they said, no, that's not his favorite song at all. I said, yes, it is. He'd sing it every day when I'd work with him on the farm. I said, no, his song was this and this. And my mom said, no, it's Somewhere My Love. And we're like, oh my goodness. We realized then that our father would teach us through song things he thought we needed to know. And mine was, he always sang with me is, have I done any good in the world today? Have I helped anyone in need? Have I cheered up the sad, made someone feel glad? If not, I have failed indeed. And it goes on and on and on. But he taught me to care and to serve and to not expect anything in return. In fact, I was taught by both my parents that you don't take credit. You don't tell about things you do. You leave that to God to get the credit. You do it here, you lose that credit. You got your reward. Now it's through. And so it's fun, and she taught us through song too.
Yeah. Well, and obviously that lesson, that your dad tried to teach you has come through, Kent, because you are extremely active in Johns Creek, not just in the chamber, but in a variety of areas as you mentioned. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about some of the different organizations and areas of Johns Creek you're involved in.
Well, I'll do that by telling you one of the things that the chamber started so many things. We started the art festival. We started Leadership Johns Creek, Student Leadership Johns Creek. We didn't directly start Student Leadership Johns Creek, but we started Leadership Johns Creek, which then evolved into also Student Leadership Johns Creek. And we start these things and we break them off into separate things. And one of the things we're starting now is because of, as I'm the Director of Public Affairs for 60 congregations spread throughout the north half of Georgia, but also the GTT chairman of the trustee board and Johns Creek Arts and Johns Creek Economic Development, Johns Creek Cultural Arts Center, all these things. We're going to, one of the things that I'm driving and the chamber's helping to drive is what we call, at least right now, we're calling it Johns Creek Super Week. And I've talked to every organization, the charities, the groups, the Rotary, the city, everybody, all the different faiths in Johns Creek, and talked about this idea, and they're all in 100%. So we're going to start it. We're going to start it in 2020, but the city won't be ready until 2021 because they've got their new office and they've got, Linear Park, which is their building behind them there. It won't be ready till 2021. So that's okay. We're planning it because it take that long to plan this. But our Super Week is like, on Wednesday night, we're going to do an interfaith concert. So every religion in Greater Johns Creek is going to supply people to be part of that choir.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to have a interfaith concert for the whole Greater Johns Creek area to bond everybody together and have all their congregants come together. Then on Thursday night, we'll have an inter-school, and I've already talked to Linda McCain and to all the leaders of Fulton School District, and they said, yeah, we're all in. And in fact, we'll supply the band members too. So they're going to, every school like Taylor Road, like Chattahoochee, Johns Creek High School, Northview High School, Centennial High School, they'll all provide kids to be part of the concert of the choir. And we'll have some grade schools. A couple rows in the front will be just grade school kids and then high school kids. And we'll have an inter-school choir on Thursday night. And they'll supply the band members too. So then we'll have all their parents and grandparents and all the schools come in and bond the whole greater community that way. So an interfaith on Wednesday, inter-school on Friday or Thursday. Then Friday will be the pros. It'll be Johns Creek Chorale and the Johns Creek Symphony Orchestra. They'll put on a big choir, a big concert on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Then Saturday we'll do festival in the park at the City Hall in Linear Park. And we'll have all the business, all the charities, all the faiths, all have a table, a booth, and just have a huge community event, music going on and stuff like that. Then Sunday will be the International Festival, which we've just finished our second year of that. And it's been a huge success. So we're just planning this super weekend. The whole purpose is to bring not just the 85,000 residents of Johns Creek and all the businesses of Johns Creek and all the orgs and faiths, but the greater Johns Creek. We want to bring in a couple 100,000 people to this super week and make it a permanent thing that will go on from that point ever forward.
Kent, you need to think a little bigger. I mean, I'm just, wow. You just blew me away. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners with just that one event and what a community tying event that is. Wow. That's exciting. And when is that going to be?
That's going to be in 2021.
Okay.
And the board that we put together will decide, obviously it needs to be when it's not too hot, because a lot of this, at least 2 days this is outside.
Sure.
And we'll need all the faiths to pray for no rain on that day, of course. But those 2 days, but it'll have to be when school's ends, because obviously the schools will be very involved. So it'll either be in May or it will be in August or September or early October. So that's to be decided. Of course, everybody will know because, we'll do billboards, we'll do, social networking, we'll do everything and get the word out there. But it will be a fun event and a big one, and one that hopefully will go on every year after that.
That's exciting. We're speaking with Kent Davies, and Kent is the CEO and president of the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce. Now, Kent, you and I were talking the other day about the benefits of being a chamber member, and you were telling a story, and for obvious reasons we can't use the name of the business, but a great story that really illustrated the value of chamber membership. Tell us that story.
Well, it's one of the things that's fulfilling for me is, hey, I retired. I was just planning on being a couch potato and doing my 8-mile list of honeydews that my wife, she still works, and she's a senior vice president for World Financial Group. And so she left me this huge list of honeydews and stuff. And I've never got a single one of those because everybody's like, hey, you're retired. Hey, can you help us with this? Can you help us with this? So I said, yeah, I'd love to. That'd be funner than doing honeydews around the house. So I jumped right into it. And I just love doing this because, we try to touch over 100,000 people each month in the chamber. We have, depending upon the time of year, we have 400 to 500 businesses involved. And we try to touch every one of them every month in some way. And like I said, with 150 events each year, there's stuff every day. Whether it's doing a luncheon on opioid use or our annual gala or our annual golf or our annual ugly sweater contest at Christmas, which is hugely popular. And, in our Christmas luncheons and stuff, we do things like we come up with some strange names that raise a few eyebrows, but we have our annual wellness expo, which we call Just for the Health of It.
I like it.
And we have our quarterly women's event that we call Chicks in Charge. Now, I didn't come up with that. The ladies of the chamber did it. And
okay.
That's interesting because at first we had a lot of even women that took that offensively and said, I didn't come to that because of your title, Chicks in Charge. But it's been hugely successful. And we had one lady came to it last time and said that, wow, I didn't come to the first two of these because your title, it sounded kind of
They were put off by that a little bit.
And she said,
maybe.
wow, this is really good because we have district attorneys, we have doctors, we have book authors, we have health pros, all women who come in and talk to them. And, back to your story now, I kind of went around loop to get to this, but these members get so many benefits, and we got so many that have told us that because of the chamber, I've been able to build my entire business, whether it's in healthcare or insurance or in real estate or whatever it is. They've been successful because of the chamber. And there's also businesses that have not been successful, I think, just my opinion, because of not being part of the chamber. We had one particular sandwich shop that when the original owner opened it up, he was a member of the chamber. They did quite well. And we got the city in there. There was always firemen in there. There was always us in there. Sure. Chamber members do business with chamber members. We preach that religiously.
Yes.
You've got everything you need in the room right here. Let's do business with each other. Let's help each other grow. Let's help, the faiths we belong to grow. Let's help the businesses we belong to grow. Let's help our kids in school. Let's help everything to grow. But chamber members do business with chamber members. And one particular, the original business owner of this sandwich shop was a faithful chamber member. He was doing well, and he thought, I'll go out at the top and try some other business. So he sold the sandwich shop to someone new. And so, of course, the first thing I would do is go in there and introduce myself, give him a business card and say, hey, you've always been a chamber member. Let's continue it. And he said, okay, great. But he never did.
Oh.
And so we couldn't go in there anymore.
Yeah.
So you've got
because your policy is to do business with chamber members as a chamber.
There's enough other restaurants that we try to do other chamber members. So rather than go to lunch there, I'll go to lunch somewhere else that is a chamber member. And so you had literally 1,000 of us quit going to his sandwich shop. And it's I hate to say it, but it's kind of crazy because it's not expensive at all to join a chamber for a year. It's not. Right. It's very cheap. And yet he refused to join it. We all went somewhere else with our business. He closed down. He couldn't stay in business, even though he's a prime A+ location. And of course, all the place where my wife worked, they all quit going. The place where somebody else quit going, the city quit going. And it's like there is, we don't want to intentionally do that to somebody, and we don't ever tell them that, that, hey, if you're not a chamber member, we're going to blackball you. We don't do that. We just go somewhere else that's a chamber member. Yeah,
it's a positive thing. You're doing business with chamber members, and by definition, that means you're not doing business with people that aren't necessarily. But that, again, that's not a blackball thing. It's a positive thing. You want to make other chamber members strong.
Right. And we didn't want to see him go out of business, but, kind of worried that he might, because when you lose that many customers and word of mouth, and hey, they decided not to be involved in the community anymore. In a community as tight knit as Johns Creek, that has impact.
Yeah. Word gets around.
So the new owners that bought the sandwich place of course, the first thing they did is come join the chamber. And I told him, I says, honestly, I feel 100% sure I'm going to bring you at least 100 new customers the day you open the door, at least, and it's going to go from there. And we've seen that happen with other restaurants that have opened and stuff too. So it's just a chamber fact that you get credibility in the community. You get the average is 63% increase in the likelihood that consumers will patronize your business if you're a chamber member. You get customer referrals, you get business contacts, you get promotion and publicity. And of course, we have all kinds of ways with the 150 events. We've got billboards, we've got newspaper ads, we've got all kinds of things to help advertise our business. But word of mouth is always the strongest, of course. And with our active networkers, at least half of our businesses are active networkers, whether it's the weekly networking meetings or the lunches or the business after hours or whatever it is, and so it affects a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're speaking with Kent Davies, and Kent is the enthusiastic CEO and president of the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. I'm amazed, Kent, that more businesses, and maybe I'm just a bottom line guy, but more businesses do not see the very positive return on investment of being a chamber member, particularly a chamber. If you're a Johns Creek business, how can you not be a member of the Johns Creek Chamber, given what you're trying to do with the chamber and really knit the whole community together?
Well, obviously, I can't understand it because I've seen the.
I'm asking the wrong guy, right?
I've seen the positive results from it, and I have testimonials all the time from people. Mm-hmm. Obviously, because when we've got at least 100 steady networkers, and you get a testimony from every one of them. That's why they're there. And it's to show you that the economic development is there. The entrepreneurship is there. Every Wednesday networking, we have like just the last one we had. And this is pretty much the standard. There was 10 people there who are not chamber members. They're just new business owners or people thinking of getting into business, want to come see the chamber and what it does and what it is. And they want to meet other people. We even have people who are looking for employment come and hand out their cards to everybody there.
Yeah.
So there's another reason why the chamber exists. Mm-hmm. We have 2 small business consultants. I'm a small business consultant. And there's just lots of ways we can help them. So when you get 10 new people to almost every weekly networking who just want to come and learn about the chamber and take a look at it, that shows you, hey, there's the want, need, and desire out there and the word out there. And, they pass around the word, too, because someone will come and say, oh, I was talking to John over there and he said you may want to look at this chamber to help you get your business off the ground. And, there are a lot of businesses that just want to join us for the 1 year to get their business off the ground. That's okay. Hey, we'll take them. But because I think we can help them. I think we help more if they stay involved with us, though,
right,
as has been proven historically also. So there's a lot of new people who come, a lot of people that need to come. Even the big businesses, like look at Alcon. They're a multi-billion-dollar business. Their property over there is multi-billion property with all they put into it stuff. They're big members of the chamber, not because they need the 85,000 residents of Johns Creek coming to them. They're because the bigger businesses want to be, it's part of their charter, to be an integral part of the communities where they have buildings, where they have offices, where they have people employed. And so places like Alcon and Emory Johns Creek and World Financial Group, Transamerica, a lot of these bigger places, Tech Park, State Farm, a lot of those bigger places, they want to be members to be a integral part of the community, to be involved in the community. They feel it's part of what they owe a community where they have offices and people and things like that. So we love it. And that just gives more credibility and strength to everybody else in the chamber. But if you're a home-based business, this is kind of funny, but half the businesses in Johns Creek are home-based. And it's not so untrue in any chamber or any area. A lot of people do work out of their homes nowadays, that entrepreneurial spirit.
Now, my understanding is that Johns Creek is one of the top, proportionally, one of the top cities in the country for home-based businesses. Is that correct? That's what I understand, which makes sense to me.
I don't know the numbers on that.
Yeah.
All I know is that half of the Johns Creek businesses are home-based.
And and that sounds like that would put Johns Creek pretty high nationally. So, but intuitively.
Yeah.
But back to the corporate, a minute. I mean, there's a little self-interest. There's got to be some self-interest in them being part of Johns Creek Chamber for one reason, is that you're looking to make the entire community a great place to live, work, and play. Yep. And that's in their interest because that's where all their people are, right? So, I mean, it's great that they're members and they do that, but they really should be a member because you're trying to help them.
We are. I mean, Johns Creek has it's ranked the number 1 safest city in Georgia and one of the safest in the U.S. And from an economic development standpoint, from a chamber standpoint, they need to be involved in this because there's only one way you keep it to be such a great city, a greater community, is if your business is involved.
Right.
Whether you're a multi-billion-dollar company or you're a new start entrepreneur praying each night that you'll have some business walk in the door. It's one of the things I love about this is there was a yoga shop, a yoga shop that opened up in the first thing they did to join the chamber, which is smart. And the lady called us up and says, I spent 3 days crying because nobody's even walked in my door.
Oh.
And it's like, let's get over there. Let's do a ribbon cutting. Let's get you in the paper. Let's get some stuff going. Let's get word of mouth going, our chamber members. And, last time I talked to her, she was smiling instead of crying. So
There you go.
We like we said, we're big enough to be strong and effective, but small enough to still have a heart and care. And we do. It's important to us that everybody who's an entrepreneur, who's in business, no matter how small or big, we help in the community. You've already heard me push Alcon and World Financial Group and every Johns Creek because we appreciate them being a part of the community. We know they don't have to be part of a chamber, but they want to be part of the community, and a chamber is one of the best ways to do that because, in Johns Creek, we're involved in everything.
Well, so Kent, we've been talking a while. If we can't get them to become members now, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, because that we've given folks a lot of rationale to become a member of the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce. For those that want more information and would like to be in touch, tell them how they can do that.
Yeah, they can just go online and look up, johnscreekchamber.com. I give people out my own cell phone. That's how I do business. So, my own personal cell phone is 404-229-3186. If you're interested in the chamber, if you're interested in having a lot of fun, come join us. Come to one of our weekly networks. You don't have to be a chamber member to come to any of our events. We're open to everybody. We also operate the Small Business Resource Center, which means you don't have to be a chamber member. We help you in business. We help you anyway, and Emory Hospital in the city helps fund that part of us. So, that shows they want small business to be successful too. I mean, come to our networking, you only have to do 2 minutes at the table and 30 seconds in front of everybody. It's not that scary. It's actually fun. We have members, dress up in costume to do their 30 seconds. We have them play the guitar and sing songs to advertise their business. We have one lady was there with a fishing pole doing her presentation. One with puppets. They do poems. They have catchy names. Dan the Man, Dan the Insurance Man. The Pope's in town. His name is Pope. And Cadillac Jack. We have that. They come up with all kinds of monikers and poems and skits to help advertise their business. It's a lot of fun.
That's great.
It's a lot of fun with all the things we do, and we help your business. So you have a social, you have a lot of fun, and we help your business. We go out of our way to help your business. You become involved in the greater community, and you help impact things in the greater community. I go to all of the city council meetings and find out what's going on so I can bring it back to our chamber members and help have influence there. We got a great city leaders, great city office. It's just a great place. Work, play, and have fun.
Okay. Now I can't sign off though without pointing to one person who's close to both of us, Ken Davis at Renaissance Bank. So we're inside Renaissance Bank. Thanks to Ken and his folks and their studio sponsorship, and we're both admirers of Ken.
Yeah, he's on our board of directors. He's our chambers bank, and so we love Renaissance. We thank their members and active participants.
Shout out to Ken, and Kent Davies. Thank you for being with us. President and CEO of Johns Creek Chamber. You're a great ambassador for the chamber and a great spokesman. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. So, folks, if you've got some headaches, and those headaches involve administrative tasks, bookkeeping, marketing, presentations, workshops, well, I've got an answer for you. Go engage a smart and reliable office angel. They're not a temp agency or a placement firm. Office Angels matches your business support needs with angels who have the talent and experience necessary to help you maintain and grow your business on an ongoing or as-needed basis. Your terms, your timeline. They lend a hand when needed and fly off when the job is done. Find out more at officeangels.us or call Chief Executive Angel S.E. Escobedo at 770-442-9246. And folks, we have got this is episode number 141 of North Fulton Business Radio. We are the longest running, I'm just going to claim it, longest running podcast in North Fulton, and certainly one that focuses on business. And we are part of the Business Radio X national network, and we are the voice of the Fortune 500,000. We focus on businesses that wouldn't get attention otherwise. And so the point of all that is go check out our archive. We've North Fulton BusinessRadioX.com. We've got as I said, a deep history of shows, guests across a lot of different industries and verticals, and we have fun, just like we did with this interview with Kent today. So connect with us there on our website and check us out. So for my guest, Kent Davies, with the Johns Creek Chamber, I'm John Ray. Join us again next time for another edition of North Fulton Business Radio.
Today, you're connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. And banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. Renaissance understands how you bank, offering mobile banking services you need. At Renaissance, we also understand that sometimes you need to speak to real people with real answers. That's why Renaissance has more than 170 convenient locations throughout the South ready to serve you. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.